Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Here we are today with this glamorous, what are we going to call this? A nice green, what is it, a green silver look. I received the new Jaclyn Hill Vault collection in the post Monday, so I'm sitting here and I was like, oh, I'm going to pick out one that's going to sort of really complement my eye look a little bit more. I've got really browny yellow eye coloured, so I wanted to pick out something that was going to be really complementary to that eye colour, and I picked out the, where's the name? The Dark Magic palette. So in the vault there's 4 palettes, so I will get through and complete an eye look on all of those. This is the palette just here, so it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a really darker coloured palette here, but there's a few lighter shades, and then we use that silvery shade across the lid. So if you would like to achieve this eye look, keep on watching. The very first thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to grab out, I've just received a whole heap of new brushes as well from Morphe. I'm giving them a red hot go with all their brush range at the moment. It helps me do a little bit of research and development for my own brand as well. Obviously with trends and particular types, like I'm no superstar when it comes to developing and formulating products. So if you can take a little bit from another brand and really do your research and things like that, this is what it's all about. So I'm going to use my Morphe E29 brush, which is like an eyebrow spoolie brush, and I'm going to use my Chi brow pomade, and I'm just going to pick up a tiny little bit. I like to grab it actually out of the pot and put it on the back of my hand, and this just helps work it up and warm it up, I suppose, as well, to apply to the eye. Now we are going to do brows today so that I can carve them out really quite tightly. So excuse me while I have my mirror here. I'm just going to use this mirror to go ahead and do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this brow. So with that brow complete, I do tend to go a little bit darker with my eyebrows when it comes to the eyeshadow look that we're doing today. So I do like to go a little bit more bold with my brow if we're going to do like a nice bold eye look. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and I'm just going to carve out that brow. This adds a lot of definition to your brow, which makes it stand out the way it does. Yes, it's got a little bit to do with the highlighting underneath the brow that you can see on this side, but it actually just carves it out. It helps you clean it up if you've overshot it a little bit too far, or if it's not as tight that you need to. Carving it out with some concealer is the easiest thing to do. You just pick up like a nice synthetic concealer brush. This one here is the DAACK Camouflage Concealer Brush, and I'm just going to carve that out, and you can see how carving it out makes a massive, massive difference. Again, and I've carved out that brow now with the concealer. I'm going to pick up a little bit more concealer, and I'm going to actually use that to prime my eyelid for this eye look. So just a tiny little bit more, and I'm not going to set any of that concealer down above my brow. I'm going to leave that so that I can blend that into my foundation when the time comes, but I'm just going to use this concealer just to go down and conceal the rest of my eye. Alright, Alright, so my eye is all concealed, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up my translucent powder. Now if you have been watching my channel, you'll know that my RCMA powder is my favourite for the concealing the eyes and so forth, and I'm just going to use my DAACK beauty sponge, and I'm just going to, I should just blend that out first. I didn't clean my mini one, so I'm using my big one. And I'm just going to press that powder all over that eye base there, just to give it a really, really nice smooth area to apply my shadow to. I am going to put a tiny little bit more on than what I need, but then I'm going to go ahead with a little fluffy brush just to flick off any of that excess. I just want to make sure that it's all very, very well concealed and powdered. Give me something to glide those shades or the shadows over as we're going with that Morphe palette. Alright, so it's up to selecting my brushes. I am a little bit of a fan of a few brushes at the moment to create different eye looks. So I'm going to use those ones. They do just, yeah, they're just probably some of my favourite brushes to achieve different eye looks, and this is exactly what I've used today. So I'm going to start with, those ones are all Morphe and a DAACK one that I use as well. So I'm going to start with the Morphe M573 brush, and I'm going to pick up my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette for the Vault collection, like we were saying before, and I'm going to pick up this almost like army green colour, which is called Potion, and I'm going to place that into my crease. Now you'll notice how differently I'm going to apply these shadows because of the pigmentation that I want. So I'm actually going to stamp these shadows into my crease, and I'm just pushing them in at the moment. I'm dabbing at the same time, so I am very lightly blending, but mainly I'm just getting that colour into the crease is my main concern. I am going to pick up my E27 brush. Look how pigmented these shadows are. That was like, what, one go, and it's got enough on there for me. My Morphe E27 brush, and I'm going to go in with this first shade up the top here called Shh. And I'm going to just put a tiny, tiny amount, and I'm just going to blend out that green colour at the top. Just very, very lightly. And I'm just going to repeat this a couple of times to get the intensity that I'm after with that green. Just a little trick, if I feel like my light brown colour is going too far or too high, I just pick up like a clean brush, just any clean brush, and I just very lightly blend out that top line. The last thing I want to do is take my previous fluffy brush that I've been using that brown colour on and dragging it high right up to my brow bone. So I'm just using a clean one to tidy it up, and then I go back to that brown to blend out that green. Very good. I'm just going to go over with a tiny another layer of that green. Awesome. Okay, so I'm happy with that green. There is a slight line in it, but I'm going to move over to this bluey colour that I'm up to next, so that will diffuse that line for me. And I'm going to pick up my next brush, which is my DAACK Pro Blend brush, which is one of my favourite brushes. And I'm going to pick up the colour Busted, which is this blue colour just here. Pick up a fair amount of it, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to push that all into my crease to start with, from inner corner to outer corner, and blend it at the same time. And it is, and you're probably thinking it's covering that green colour that we've laid down, and somewhat it is, but it's also intensifying it that little bit more. It's changing the look of the colour. It's not so much blue too much anymore. It's actually like more of a beautiful turquoise colour as well. So it has changed the way it's looked, but that's all about blending the pigments together as well. So just intensifying up that blue colour. I feel like this one's going to end up a tiny little bit greener than the other side, and I guess that's the problem when you do eyes separate. You can't increase the intensity from one to the other, so that's fine. We'll go back and intensify the green on this one a slight little bit more if I need to. I'm going to blend out that very top line with my clean brush. Where'd my clean brush go? very good. All right, so that's nice and blended. There is still that top line for me, but that's okay, that's fine. We're going to get rid of that with a cut crease anyway, because we do need that little bit of harshness in the color contrast as well, so that we can get that silver shadow down. So what I'm going to do with that silver shadow is I'm actually going to cut a small crease out of it, and to do that I'm just going to use my Artiste concealer brush. I like these brushes because they are precise enough to get that nice cut crease. And if you wonder why I keep looking down, I have a mirror, so I'm not really sure how it looks until I go back at the end of the video and see how much I'm actually looking down and see how much you can see. So I do apologize if you can't see very much. I don't know what to do with the mirror, whether I don't know, it's really bizarre. It's a bizarre angle to have one on, and if I put it up here then you guys can see it. So I don't know, we'll get the setup sorted shortly. Hence my pink jumper and my feral hair and my phone going off. I'm trying to do 100 things at once, which is pretty normal for me. So we're getting there. Slowly but surely we're getting there. We're sorting out, I'm sorting out everything, my lights, and I'm getting there. So just have faith that things are going to improve as time goes on. So I am going to cut this crease, and I'm just going to hold a smaller mirror. To cut the crease, I'm going back to my Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I do like using this one. You do have to work a little bit more with it because it is a very thin concealer. But I do prefer the thinner concealer, because then when I've got crepey eyelids, I hate them and I wish I could do something about it. But well, there you go, hit me up, drop in the down bar below, or leave a comment and tell me what I can do about my crepey eyelids, and also like my very hooded eyelids. I've looked into eyelid surgery, but I'm too nervous to think that something could go wrong and I'll end up with worse eyelids than what I've actually got. So that's just not an option at the moment. But if you have any other suggestions, pop them in the comments below. That would be much appreciated. So I'm just going to go ahead and carve out this crease. And carved out that crease. I haven't worried about too much of the opaqueness about the carving out, purely because I'm just going to go ahead and add a silver shadow to it anyway, so I'm not too concerned about that. But what I am going to do, I have found a little brush that I liked. This is the Morphe M213 brush. I love it. It's very, very tiny, very, very small, for adding the shadows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the Power Cut shadow, which is the shimmery silver Power Cut shadow there, and I'm going to apply that on probably the first half of my cut crease. Perfect. And then I'm going to pick up the shade Trickery, which is this greeny shade just here, and I'm going to apply that on the second half of my cut crease, and then blend the two together. We have gone ahead and applied that cut crease. We've put the silver shade down, and then we've blended it into that darker green shimmery shade of Trickery and just blended it into the outer. So I'm really happy with that. They both sort of match now, which is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some lashes at this stage. I'm going to do those off camera. Sometimes they work for me, sometimes they don't, and I'm the first one to admit that they're just tricky. They just take time, they take practice to get on there. There's no, oh goodness, everybody has their day, and if anyone sits there and says they get them on first go, every go, they're fibbing, because it takes a lot of practice to get them on constantly as well. So it's something that you do need to do every day to be able to get it down pat. Sometimes you do need to sit there, and some days they just don't want to stick, so it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my false lashes. Today I'm using the style Taffy Morphe, or no, sorry, Lila. I'm using the style Lila from the DAACK Makeup Academy range. So I'm just going to apply those and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back again, and I've gone ahead and completed my face off camera, applied my lashes off camera, and now we're just going to go ahead and finish that eye look that we started, and put some lips on as well. I like doing lips and highlighter to show you guys. So the very first step we're going to do is we're going to finish that under eye look to make it look as bold as the other side. So I'm going to go back to that original Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette that we had, the Vault one, just reminding its class is called Dark Magic. I'm going to use two different brushes for this one. I'm going to be using the DAACK Eye Dome brush, which is like a fluffy dome blender brush. I love this one for the under eye area. It helps smoke it out as well. So I am going to go ahead and start with that colour, that brownie colour just here. And I'm going to apply that all across my lower lash line. I'll make sure that you guys can see. Inner corner to outer corner. Unless you get a bristle in your eye. I always do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up that potion, that green colour that we have on the top, and I'm going to apply a tiny little bit of that along the bottom as well. Awesome. And then I'm going to pick up my Morphe M432, which is like a flat, dense shader brush. And I'm going to go ahead with that busted, that blue colour that we used earlier on the top as well. And I'm going to stamp it, because it is a very sharp, straight brush. I'm going to stamp it along the bottom lash line to give it like an eyeliner look without actual putting eyeliner on. This is one of my favourite shadow tricks, to put eyeshadow on instead of eyeliner. With eyeliner, it makes my eyes look really beady and really quite small. Even though I don't have small eyes, it definitely appears that way if I put too much like eyeliner on in my waterline or my tight waterline across the top. So I love using the eyeshadow trick, and I do that on a lot of my clients as well. So I'm going to do that one. I did just fluff it a little bit just to get rid of any harshness that's there. Very good. Awesome. And then to complete that, I'm going to add some mascara. I do like using the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. I do prefer this one because I actually like the spoolie on it. It's very tiny. I have bent it myself to get to this angle, but I do prefer it. It's a lot easier to apply than some of the others because the spoolie is so tiny on it, and I like it because I can get right down to that lash band. Alright, so I've just gone ahead and applied some mascara to my bottom lashes, and I've also restuck that inner corner off. It popped off. I've just got a little tiny glue that I'm using. I don't even have the brand of it, so I just find it really easy for videos to apply. It's really quite quick and it doesn't stay on, so that's why I use it for videos and not for going out. So make sure you find a good lash glue that lasts a very long time, not the one I'm using for videos. Okay, so just two final steps. The first one I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight my face. Oh, actually, before I go ahead and do that, I'm going to go back into that. Oh, no, I didn't use that one for my highlight. Which one did I use? I didn't want to show you any more of the palettes, but okay, so this is the other Jaclyn Hill palette. This is the Armed and Gorgeous palette, which is this beautiful set of colors just here, absolutely stunning. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use this white shade that's at the very tip there, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight my inner corner and my brow bone with that one as well. So to highlight those two sections, I do use my pencil brush by Makeup Geek, and I'm just going to pick up a tiny amount of that white shade, and I'm just going to highlight my brow bone. So how I'm going to highlight is I'm just going to place it straight under here, and you can instantly see what it does to my brow bone straight away. Perfect. How gorgeous is that? And my inner corner, I'm going to pop a fair bit in there. Pop. Wow, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Can you see that? You should be able to see that straight away. It's like Snow White. I absolutely stunning. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight the rest of my face, and to do that one I'm going to use my DAACK highlighter in the shade Twilight. So to highlight my face I'm going to use my Morphe R31 brush. Like I said before, I got a lot of Morphe brushes in this video, but I guess it's complementary to the Morphe palette that we've been using as well. So I'm just going to highlight my cheekbones. Oh, I like this. Make sure it's all blended out. Oh, look at that, really quite beautiful. Really, oh, it's like wet. Yeah, wow, see, gorgeous. Just gonna bring it around a tiny little bit. That, stunning, looks wet. Okay, Cupid's bow. Alright, now I probably am just going to go a nude colour with my lips today, just given the intensity of and like the green, the eye look. I'm probably just going to go more of a nude look. So to achieve that nude look, I'm going to go a combination of a DAACK Infinity lip pencil in the shade Simple, which is just like a nice nudie colour, and then my lipstick is going to be another DAACK lipstick in the shade Tory. Perfect. Here we have it. This is today's completed look. So just to very quickly recap, we went ahead and we used, the main palette that we used today was the brand new Jaclyn Hill Morphe Vault collection, and we used the palette Dark Magic. So I am going to create more videos with all the other palettes, but this is the palette that we used today, and then we did just use one highlighting shade from the other, but that's very simple to get in another palette as well. So this is today's completed look, all done. If you would like to know the other products that we used on the face, just drop a comment below and I'm happy to answer those for you. If you also have any other suggestions of videos that you would like to see me create or remake, don't forget to leave all those in the comments section below as well. And the same spiel at the start and end of every single video, please make sure you like this video, you subscribe to my channel, and you have to hit that little notification bell. I would love to make this a regular part of my job. I love it. I love sitting here filming. I love, you know, creating and also inspiring you guys to get out there and have a go. Like you can see, my work's not perfect. It's not. I've definitely got so much more improvement, and I want you guys to know that you all have to start somewhere. This is where I'm starting. I'd love to have you along for the journey. But yeah, I definitely need your support to be able to do that. Yeah, I reckon that's about it. Like I said, I'm sorry about the quality of my nice pink fluoro jumper and my red background contrasting together, but I'm sitting here nursing a major abdominal wound. Unfortunately, I had a big operation last week, so I'm only 5 days post-op, so I reckon I'm not doing too bad, to be honest. But this is, like I said before, this is what I love. I love doing things like this, so I couldn't help but sit down and yeah, and get ready and film something for you guys. So yeah, definitely let me know. I love hanging out with you guys. Yeah, it's good fun. We'll talk more in the next video. Thanks, bye.